Okay, this is the Memoirs of Exhibit-2, which is public information, of more belligerent bank fraud that's documented and caught red-handed. Now, Exhibit-2 was filed within the bankruptcy court proceedings by rule of law and the handbook of the Chapter 12 standing trustee, who screens each case promptly for conflicts of interest, reviews each debtor's petition, reviews the debtor's claim to make sure that all the laws are followed accordingly. And if not, the standing trustee will refer the suspected violations of federal crime law to the appropriate United States attorney. And the trustee with knowledge of civil fraud and abuse should report these matters to the United States trustee also. Now, all three branches of the government refuse to prosecute and collect the funding, fines, and retribution owed to the government and owed to the victims thereof, while giving aid and comfort to the economic traders' world economic treason against international trade. For their economic espionage and sabotage, subjects themselves to the liabilities within the Economic Sabotage Act of 1917, which includes falsification of records within bankruptcy, interstate and foreign commerce, false oaths and claims, embezzlement, adverse interest and conduct of officers, disregard of bankruptcy law, bankruptcy fraud, U.S. attorneys and FBI to address the abuse of the proven fraudulent statements in bankruptcy, arson, and so much more. In spite of the Constitution, in spite of the rule of law, while violating their own constitutional oaths of office and or professions, Exhibit 2's counts and cause of fight counts prove beyond a shadow of a doubt. Now, anyone can scratch out anyone else's account number who has an excessive amount of equity, handwrite in an unknown account number for an opportunity to cross-collateralize someone else's equity to an unknown account number without the initials of any parties whatsoever. Now, anyone can initial and add the correct account numbers to any documentation anyone so chooses without the correct account party's initial approval. Now, anyone, and especially a loan administrator, can now create deceptive forms as cover sheets with the unknown account number that do not match the victim's account number within, as an opportunity to cross-collateralize their victim's excessive amount of equity. This immediately exonerates all who are now unjustly accused, fined, and are imprisoned for like kind now legalized offenses through the new international case law and ethic changes. For winning arbitrations, grand jury no bills, appeals, pardons, and paroles, all three branches of the government went out on a limb here to constitutionally provide everyone with these get-out-of-jail-free cards. Now, if you're sitting in prison or paying fines for like kind of offenses, you're a fool. And which also squanders the tax-paying commoner funding of said imprisonment and said legal process. For all three branches of the government knew full well that they were in contempt of their own courts, and within their own jurisdictions. The government knew full well of the government documented paper trail as obstructions of justice. Really, you can't scratch out somebody else's account number and put in someone else's. Subjecting themselves to the liabilities under the penalty of perjury and the reduction in their jurisdiction's budgets. While squandering the tax-paying commoners' funding thereof, while refusing to prosecute and collect the funding finds retribution the racketeer corruption owes the government and to the victims thereof, inevitably increasing the tax burden upon the tax-paying commoners and not the two-bit felons. Now, if you continue to racketeer corruption against me, to close my businesses down, you're damn sure not going to do it with my own tax dollars.